having to drive 2 or 3 hours out to a location because you don't know where it's plugged into, it creates frustration.
Landus is a major farmer-owned cooperative, connecting thousands of farmers across rural America to a global market. But behind the scenes, their IT team was drowning in tools.
You'd have to remember what company or what tool do we use for this. People just shut down after the first try. It's like, I don't know where it is.
Once they made the switch to Kaseya, everything changed. One platform, one source of truth, and a team that finally knew exactly where to go.
We have our SaaS alerts, we have our backups, we have the whole kit and caboodle for cybersecurity within Kaseya.
Today, we're breaking down how Landus consolidated their entire tech stack and what the transformation has meant for their business.
Before, deploying Kaseya products, you had a lot of different tools.
Yeah, we did. We had a tool for everything. We'll say that. So, and it wasn't always the same company. So sometimes it was, company A through G, and and then you'd have to remember which, what company or what tool do we use for this, and which also led to, well, this tool can also do this and this, but we have another tool for a different product, right? So, or a different solution. So it was hard to understand. It's the epitome of tool sprawl.
What did you start with product-wise from us?
I noticed that we didn't have anything for documentation. We were just using network drives, and a lot of times that was scattered or in different locations. You never knew what. So I introduced or thought that we would go with IT glue. Our sites are scattered throughout Iowa mostly, and then the other states. And when you talk about having to drive 2 or 3 hours out to a location because you don't know where it's plugged into, since we have so many different locations, and as much as we want to say we're standardized, we're not. So we have to document different locations and just pop open, one of our tool on IT glue in the same, right from Kaseya 1. It's like, oh, I need IT glue. Let me get the picture. It's plugged into port, port 3. All right. So now you can direct that person to go exactly right where you need to, without having to drive, 4-hour round trip. So finding and understanding what's in those locations is a lot easier now with IT glue. So it's faster response time to figure out what information they need to get to complete a ticket.
Individual products, if we're talking about the trifecta, can you kind of dive into each one?
IT glue, obviously, for documentation, and we get fed our Microsoft licensing into there, so that just covers everything. That's kind of you have to have that tab open when you're you're troubleshooting.
Okay.
Autotask, well, we have checklists that we use for new hires, and so onboarding, offboarding that we can do. We have some workflows that catch certain tickets, so we don't have to uh, filter through some of the alerts. And then with VSA X, we can deploy our gold image, our standard image that we do for a computer, and then we can run through workflows and say, this is an OT computer, this is an IT, an admin computer, this is an IT workstation. So we can click it, and then it'll just launch the software for those certain builds. And any scripting that we want to do it's pretty effective with VSAX.
So having all these tools in play, how has it affected the team's efficiencies and streamlining them in the office?
So one of the things that was recognized by the team is when you try to find a tool or you open up the wrong tool, it creates frustration.
Sure.
You don't know what tool it is, and a lot of times people just shut down after the first try. It's like, I don't know where it is. So they'll shut down, but with Kaseya 1, we could just open it up. There's your auto test. There's your whole suite of products. Everything's much easier. You open up that one screen and you can navigate to the next, to the next. You don't have to think as much. You don't have to try to figure out what tool does what. It's all pretty streamlined, pretty efficient. And so we do site visits with our field techs. So they'll go out to the sites and, they'll run an IP scan. They'll look at the equipment. But when they go out there, it's not always clear what devices are on the network.
Of course.
So when you have like network glue, where we can look at, the overlay, the topology of the network, and we can see if these endpoints are connected and where they're connected to, what port they're connected to. So the ability to find the devices and track them down, and if we need to update them, it's all streamlined.
So, with cyber attacks affecting every facet of the world, including farming, agriculture, BCDR often comes into play. How does that change the way you guys are, dealing with your cyber hygiene?
With the Kaseya suite, we'll start with the the cybersecurity insurance. So we are now fully. It's easy to show them that we have everything that we need to get our cybersecurity insurance. We have our SaaS alerts. We have our backups for our users, our servers, our and the user files and the computers, and then we also have Rocket Cyber that's taken a look. So we have the whole kit and caboodle for the cybersecurity within Kaseya.
How does our managed SOC help you stay on top of everything?
Sure. We actually just had an event where we had an end user think that it was okay to open some risky links.
Sure.
So this created uh, an alert for
Mhm.
us where the SOC let us know, and then we were able to isolate that computer and kick it off network connectivity so we could clean it up.
Talking about tool sprawl, that's something that a lot of large companies like yourself deal with. Bringing everything under one roof, under one Kaseya umbrella, how has that changed how your team operates, how your team works?
The biggest thing is I believe is how the technicians find the right tool. I think that's the number one. But it doesn't just stop there. So we have the financial aspect of it as well, where we're not having to chase down receipts or when we do budgeting, what tool is expiring this year, is it a 3 years or 5 years or 1 year, is it month to month? So how we manage our budgeting and our billing is a lot easier. And also with the tool sprawl not being there, I think having the sentiment level or the happiness of our end users and especially our technicians is a lot better. It's actually kind of more of an afterthought for us
Mhm.
because it scales so smoothly. I think we'll see the adjustment if we go over our the number of endpoints that we purchased, right? So the scaling is very much simplified. Everything's right within Kaseya 1, so or Kaseya Suite.
With scaling, obviously there's savings there. Would you say that has been a big reason why you've continued to work with us?
So the financial aspect is one of the I wouldn't say it's the primary
Mhm.
reason for um, for continuing with Kaseya. I think the tools are actually really good tools, and I think our team believes in that too, and that's why we don't have any issues getting the team to use them. Um, and certainly the scalability is great as well, so we don't have to think about much.
Automation, obviously using AI is something that we're hearing more and more about in the IT space. What's your relationship with automating solutions, automating tasks in your role?
In my role, I love it. So I'm
Okay.
I'm a I'm an AI guy. So when you start to see the benefits of um, one that comes to mind is the SOP creation tool. So we have with all of our different locations and user skill levels, I guess you can say,
Mhm.
is SOPs and repeating our process. We don't want to create a document over and over and over. So those type of automation tools are what, especially for a small team like ours,
Mhm.
where we don't have the time to always do stuff to improve or automate. So whenever we can, launch within VSA the workflows, where we how do the question of how do we build this tool? Well, now you can use Cooper Copilot to uh, build this build this workflow for me. And maybe it's not perfect every time, but it gives you the starting point to where you can just tweak it to how you want it. So it helps out on most of the tools that we use.
So with Kaseya Intelligence, there's going to be a lot of hopefully new game changers. What is something that you're hoping to see?
Sure. Something that I think would be greatly beneficial is allowing the end user to utilize an AI tool to help troubleshoot or help fix or triage and fix even
Mhm.
a solution on their own without having to reach help desk. So maybe within a customer portal they can go out there and they can click on whatever issue that they're having, and then it walks through and gives them the solution. And do you want us to implement? AI will do it for you.
Sure. So with other IT teams who are managing complex environments, what would you say?
Using Kaseya products has been very beneficial for us in the financial aspect and the efficiency aspect. I think going with Kaseya's tools to where they're always having some sort of emerging product or technologies that are already integrated into your tools. You leave the updates in Kaseya's hands, and you just run with what you need on the tools. So I would say consolidate your tools, and that'll help your efficiency and your financial side of it.
For an IT environment, is there one tool that you would say would be the foundation to help any business grow, succeed, and thrive in this new normal?
Kaseya one, that's the way to go.
Ben, thanks so much for coming.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Really enjoyed this conversation. Thanks for diving into your stack, some of your solutions, and hopefully we can do this again in the future.
Absolutely. I appreciate it, and I had a good time doing it.
Perfect.